everyone! While recording this video, it was November, but as I'm going in and editing, here we are in 2025! First video of the year, woo woo! So I did a poll on Instagram regarding what video I should post next. Link to my Insta is literally all over my channel in case you'd like to choose what video I put out in the future. And a good lot of you wanted me to do a story time. It's been like 7 months since I've made a story time, so today I'm going back to my roots, my first videos of this channel, to give you another one. While the other ones were me just yapping about whatever, today I'll be giving you guys something a little more juicy, a little more flavorful, if you will. So get your forks and knives ready and let's dig in. I did college for 2 years before deciding to take a gap year, or 2 years now at this point, and I'll definitely make a video talking about my college experience as a whole because yikes, that's a story. But today I'm only talking about one, which is my freshman year roommate and why I now hate roommates. I know 1 or 2 people who I've stayed mutually connected with from college might see this, so hi, let's just keep this between us, okay? You can listen to my complaining like the rest of them and we'll just live, right? Be quiet or I will find you. Okay, anyway. So this was the first time that I was really leaving home and living more on my own, and I was extremely nervous. I decided to randomly pick a roommate for my first year. I didn't know anyone. I didn't really push myself to try to connect with anyone online because I just didn't know anyone. And I figured what would be better than jumping in the deep end and being stuck with a complete stranger for a year. That'll really get you to meet someone. Oh, it sure will. The day came to move into my room, and guys, the room that they gave us should have been banned from literally being more than a one-person room. We were literally in a closet. So my new roommate and I had to do a bunk bed situation because there was no room for us to even have our beds at different parts of the room. Like, I don't know, a normal dorm room? So while getting set up, I met my roommate, let's call her Sarah. Her and I got some time to meet, and we even went to some local festivals together. We ate at the dining hall, etc. We got to talking and realized we had a lot of the same interests. We both liked anime, had figures, enjoyed art, played video games. I was really excited for the year. Look at me sitting all worried about if I'd get along with my roommate, right? Right, guys? Well, about a month went by and it went somewhat smoothly. We were all getting settled in and it felt alright. Sarah ended up getting a boyfriend a month into the year, and I was happy for her as the supportive roommate I was, but
little did I know it would be a feature, a creature feature, featuring the creature.
Introducing Tom, Sarah's new boyfriend. Tall dude, long hair, someone who was also into similar stuff as Sarah. He was more laid back, but sometimes he was kind of a dick, I'm not gonna lie. Or maybe I just can't tell tones good, so, you know, could be that too. Tom and Sarah started hanging out a lot, as couples usually do, and slowly our situation started to change. It went from Sarah and I living together and doing our own thing to Sarah, me, and Tom. I'd come back from a long day of classes and see Tom and Sarah snuggled in her bed, playing video games, watching shows, you know, typical couple stuff. Normally I'm not bothered, and I wasn't bothered in the beginning, but from what turned into him being around every few days, turned into every other day, to him being there every single day. I'd come back from eating lunch at the dining hall to them sitting there playing games. I'd leave again for classes, get dinner with friends, come back, and they're still there. Okay, a little odd, but I'm just gonna go to the gym for an hour or so, and he should be gone by the time I get back, right? Yeah, no. Here I am coming back at around 11 p.m. when I still see his ass there from 9 hours ago. This quickly became a new routine where no matter when or where, I would find him in our closet room with us. Even when I was on my bed with a nasty cold, tissues everywhere, and I couldn't stop sneezing and coughing, ugh, it was just disgusting. Sarah still brought Tom over so they could cuddle right under me. How romantic, right? I ended up asking Sarah why they didn't just go to his room. I mean, everyone had way more space except us. She informed me that he didn't like showing affection to his girlfriend in front of his bros, so they just chose for me to suffer with it instead. Okay, well, Nina, if you hated it so much, why didn't you establish boundaries with her? Well, I was new to roommates. I honestly felt really awkward to be confrontational because her and I were practically on top of each other, and if we had bad blood, I didn't want to suffer in our situation. situation, but I did actually have a conversation with her later in the year asking if they can, also hang out in his room away, since it was becoming a lot to have a third roommate, and even though they agreed, the situation really didn't change much. So it quickly went from, I don't mind this guy, to if I even saw Tom in the hallways, I would just roll my eyes. I literally started hating this guy and being anywhere near him, since I could never seem to not be near him outside of classes. Not only was I disliking not having my own space from him, anytime he'd make himself at home, his feet would absolutely destroy my nose. And for some reason, I was the only one who could smell those things. Somehow, Sarah and Tom were just unbothered while his feet are right next to my desk, and I have to try not to gag while doing my homework. Those things could literally have killed an army. So now my everyday consisted of listening to Tom and Sarah make out, him living in our tiny space, and my nose being destroyed from his grippers and getting no peace from him. Okay, Nina, you complained about him living there and now the smell, but that doesn't seem like the biggest ordeal. No, you're right. Even though it was the bane of my existence, it wasn't the worst thing that had happened. So let's paint a scene here. One night I went into the dining hall to get some dinner. I decided to leave my computer and notebooks on my desk since I had plans to do homework after. Sarah and Tom were there watching a show, and when I got back, they were still, of course, you guessed it, still there watching a show. At this point, I'm just too tired to care, and I get to my desk, when all of a sudden, as I open my computer, I noticed that it was completely broken. The screen was smashed, and parts of my keyboard were broken as well. To say I was a little pissed would have been an understatement. I was one of the few students at my school who didn't have mom and dad helping them pay for it. My grandma and my mom scrounged up $300 to get me a random computer not even a few months ago, and here I am staring at it smashed up. I had no money to just go get up and buy a new one tomorrow. I had no money, period. I asked them about it, and both of them just stared at me crazy and denied anything. To this day, I still don't know how it happened, but I do know that computers don't just grow limbs, throw themselves off my desk, and come back up. I think maybe they were trying to open the window or were goofing off and my computer fell because of it. Probably didn't want to pay for it, so they just played the denial game. So that was just awesome. That wasn't even the only thing they broke. Sarah also broke one of my figures of Miku and threw an attitude when I was obviously upset. To give her credit, she did end up either fixing it or buying me a new one soon after, so at least something got fixed. For my people with siblings out there, when your sibling eats all of something and leaves the box around, so when you go to get one and then realize there was never any left to begin with? Well, Sarah and Tom decided that my cosmic brownies I bought looked really good for their smoke munchies and decided to eat all of them and leave the empty box on the shelf for me. So later on, when I wanted one, I reached for the box just to find none left, without even asking or letting me know. I don't mind sharing, but eating a whole box of my brownies that I bought and leaving the box for me to find? Jail. Straight to prison. There was probably more minor inconveniences, but the last thing I'll bring up today is the scandal. The phone scandal. This one is a bit of a more mature topic, so hopefully I have no children around because my channel is not for kids. You'll understand why I say this is more mature as I go on. So my boyfriend and I were long distance, still are sadly. So right now I only really talk to him and see him on the phone. Sarah was aware of this and it was all okay. One night I was laying on my bed and below me Sarah and Tom were under on her bed watching a show. I was on the phone with my boyfriend and we were just yapping as we do. He was out of the shower and was just sitting on the toilet and talking. If you don't talk to your partner while one of you is on the toilet, is it a real relationship? But as we were talking, I overheard his mom needing to use the bathroom, so I just told him to hurry and then finish in the bedroom. Being the nice, considerate girlfriend I am and thinking of his mom. Then we just continued talking. Around 20 minutes later, Sarah and Tom left, which wasn't unusual. Sometimes they'd go off for an hour or so and then come back to be all in the way again, so it was whatever. I eventually went to bed and that was that. Well, the next day, I was walking with my friend to my dorm, and as we were walking up, she asked, "So, how was you and your boyfriend's night last night? You guys have fun?" What do you mean? Well, Sarah told me that you and him were getting your freak on last night. Excuse me? No, we weren't doing anything like that last night. Why would she say that? She was talking about when you told him to go back in the bedroom to finish or something. I remember my face getting super red because that's so embarrassing. What? I mean, I don't mind telling my friends gossip stories like that if they were actually true, but hearing that my roommate ended up telling everyone on the 3rd floor of my dorm that I was being dirty with my boyfriend on the phone right above their bed, that's just crazy. I didn't know whether to be offended that Sarah thought I would do that or to be offended that she would spread rumors about me in my intimate life that wasn't even true, and now they all think I was getting it on? For a small benefit of doubt, maybe you could have misinterpreted that wrong if you were listening, but I've never done anything or given any impression that I'm that much of a weirdo, okay? I'm just a tired college student. I did end up texting her after being like, hey, nothing weird was happening, but please come to me next time to clear anything up before you go around telling everyone in our building a rumor that I'm some weird degenerate freak. Yeah, thanks, much appreciated. Unfortunately, I had hopes for Sarah and I being good friends, but by the end of the year, her and I didn't even really talk much, and I was just over being stuck in the same room as her and her boyfriend. And when I left, I didn't even say goodbye, honestly. I had experienced her being very inconsiderate to me and my space, and her and I just never ended up clicking. And I was even more overseeing Tom. To this day, I just cannot look at the guy without automatically wanting to walk in front of a car. Okay, maybe a bit of an overreaction, but seriously, I could live the rest of my life without seeing him again. Honestly, it's so disappointing that things turned out the way they did. I mean, in different circumstances, her and I would have gotten along, but I just lived with a side of her that I wasn't really fond of. It was hard to feel comfortable in the place I was supposed to live in for a year, with having to deal with an unwanted stranger in my room and feeling like I was the one who shouldn't have been there. I'm really glad it's over with, and it's definitely just reinforced my feelings about having my own room in my own space. If you're going into college or just general college advice, if you decide to do a random roommate situation, please talk to them beforehand. If you're anxious like me, it'll help to get to know them more, but also please, for your own sanity, make some room rules. We did do that in the beginning of the year, required by the school, but I didn't anticipate she'd get a boyfriend that I'd be stuck living with all year, so really lay everything flat out on the table. My 2nd year roommate was made aware of my previous issues, and I did mention if she had a partner like that, there would be some rules for that for my own sanity. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any horrible roommate stories, comment below so we can cry through the pain together. I'll see you all in the next video. I love you all and have a good day or night. Bye bye.